this video, I will show you how to create a contact sheet in Adobe Photoshop. Most importantly, before you even begin in Photoshop, you have to put all of your images or photos in a folder. I'm on a Macintosh, which is different from what you usually use on your Windows. So you will have your flash drive, and on your flash drive you will have a folder, and you will label that folder Elements for Contact Sheet. Or if we were doing black and white photographs, you would have black and white photographs for Contact Sheet. Whatever the name of the project is, you will name it the project and for Contact Sheet. And you can see inside here, I have 12 photos. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so I'm going to close that up, and that is on your flash drive. So then I'm going to go back to Photoshop, and I'm going to go to File, and I'm going to scroll all the way down to Automate. I get another drop-down menu, and I see Contact Sheet 2. Click on that, and another box pops up, and it's really important that you follow the steps in here to make sure that everything is correct, because Photoshop is going to read exactly what you put in here. So, source images, where are they coming from? They're coming from a folder, yes, and I'm going to choose that folder, and that's the folder that you put your 12 images in, titled whatever the project name is for Contact Sheet. So I click Choose, and I'm going to find that folder. I know it's on my desktop. I'm going to scroll down, and my folder, it's right here, Elements for Contact Sheet, right there. So I'm going to hit Open, and there it is. It shows up. It came from my desktop, Elements for Contact Sheet. Don't worry about include subfolders. It can be checked, that's fine. Group images by folder, you can leave that unchecked. Scroll down to the next section. This is all about the document. This is all about the contact sheet that you are creating. Let's make sure we're in inches, because we don't really know how to convert pixels at this point yet. So keep it in inches. I want my document to be 8.5, 8.5 by 11. That is a regular size sheet of paper. 8.5 by 11, width and height. Very important. I also want my resolution to be 300 pixels per inch, not 72. That's only for web. 300 pixels per inch, which is for printing. RGB color and 8-bit. Photoshop should already be set to that. Now, down to this third section titled Thumbnails. We're going to tell it how many across rows and how many down columns. So I want 4 columns, and you see it says enter the number of columns. Rows, enter the number of rows. I want 4 columns by 6 rows, because I have 12 photos in my folder. Use auto spacing, keep that checked, yes. Now, very bottom, last little box here, use file name as caption. Make sure that that is checked off. I do not want you to include file names as caption. Now I'm going to go up top here, and I'm going to click OK. And I can see that Photoshop is thinking, and there are all of my images, my photographs, that were in that folder. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 columns, 1, 2, 3 rows. Now I've got this space left down here at the bottom. This is where you're going to put your photograph that you think is the best one from that project. You may have shot 40 photos. You only were going to turn in 1 or 2 for the assignment. You've chosen 12 good ones for your contact sheet, but this one down here is going to be your best in show. So I've got to go find it. Go up to File, Open, and I know that my favorite photo is on my desktop, and that is here. You will be finding yours in your flash drive. It was not in that folder. It has to be separate somewhere else. So I'm going to use this one here called Soccer Star. I'm going to hit open, and now it's opened up in a new document in Photoshop. So you can see I can go back and forth between these two documents, back and forth. I even have another one over here called Untitled. I don't really need that. But just so you can see, Photoshop works just like Google, where we have different documents. So I'm going to go back to Soccer Star, and I'm going to go to, on your computer, it is Control A for select all, and I get all the little marching ants around the outside of the photograph. That tells me it's been selected. You're going to hit alternate Alt C for copy. Go back to your contact sheet, Alt V for paste, and there's my photo. It's a little tiny. I want it to be a lot bigger. So I'm going to transform it. Alt T for transform. I get all these little handlebars around the edge. I'm going to click and drag it out. Do not squeeze. Do not distort it. Hold down your shift key so it will enlarge and get smaller proportionately. Once I decide I've got it the size that I want, I can hit enter to let Photoshop know that I am happy with that size. Or you may have a check mark way up here at the top that you can click. Okay, so there's my photo. But it's sitting here, it's all plain, it's kind of boring. So I'm going to give it a border. I'm going to go over here to the bottom right, and I'm going to click FX, which is for effects, and I'm going to click stroke. I'm going to put a stroke or a border around my photo. I'm going to move this up a little bit so I can see what's happening down here. Since I have this preview button clicked, everything that I manipulate in here, I'll be able to see what's happening down here on the actual document. So I can see already it put this big black border on there, but I'm going to change the color first. I'm going to change the color to red. Not so bright, maybe a little muted. There we go. Click OK. Now back up here, the size, I can make it bigger. You can see down here at the bottom it's getting bigger. Slide it back down the other way, and it's not quite as big. I'm going to keep that size. I can change the opacity here and make it so it's not so opaque. I'm going to keep it at 100 though. Okay, so now I've decided I think I want a drop shadow. So if I look over here, here's the list of all the styles, and I've got stroke checked, which I just did. I'm going to click on drop shadow. And now a whole nother structure box shows up over here. These are everything, the dials and controls that I can use to change the type of drop shadow. So first of all, I don't want it to be multiply. I'm going to click on this and just make it a normal one. But you can play with that, play with different ones, but normal is probably the most common one. I think I want my drop shadow to stay black. I'm going to keep it black. Here's the opacity again. So you can see right now, you can see through it a little bit down here. I'm going to move it up, make it a little bit more opaque, 48. That's okay. I like that. Now I can change the angle of it, where it's located. There's a little circle right here. I'm going to grab this little line and I'm going to move it. And I let go, and you can see it moved. I'll do it again. Bring it down here. And it's showing me over here in this little box as well, where it's located. See it moving? I don't like that. I'm going to go back. I want it on the bottom right-hand side. Bottom right-hand side here in the preview window. Bottom right-hand side here. I can manipulate the distance, how far out it is, how far out it spreads. Bring that back in. And even the size of the drop shadow. See, it gets bigger and bigger. So I think I like what I have. I'm going to click OK. And now I've added some drama to my best in show photo, the one that you think is the most awesome one. That's what goes down at the bottom. I'm done with my contact sheet, but most importantly, I have to save it. So Right now it just says contact sheet -001. Well, I can't turn that in, so I'm going to go to File, Save As, and I'm going to name it my last name. Most important, I always put my last name first. That way the teacher knows who it's from. McClary, and I'm going to call this Elements Contact Sheet. I can get rid of 001. I'm going to get rid of this. I'm not saving it as a Photoshop document. No way. It's got to be turned in as a JPEG. So I've named it McClary.Elements Contact Sheet, and then I'm going to come all the way down here. I know this dialog box, the Save As box, looks different than it does on Windows, but you're still doing the same thing. Change the format to JPEG. Hit Save. I can see up top it changed it to McClary.Elements Contact Sheet.jpg. Hit Save. You definitely want it to be high quality. Make sure it's not all the way down here low. We want it to be high quality. Maximum or high is good. Click OK. I can see, hopefully it changed. Okay, now I'm done. I've saved it, and it's in this folder right here. Nope, not sure where I saved it. I didn't pay attention to where I saved it. That wasn't good. Go back to Photoshop. Let's see where I saved it. I did save it on the desktop. It's on my desktop. There it is right there. It's on my desktop. I'll know where to go find it when I get ready to load it up into Canvas. As long as you have saved it on your flash drive, you'll know exactly where to find it when you go to load it up and turn it into Canvas. Good job.